Welcome to Keepin' It Real, your go-to radio show for fresh insights and vibrant introductions. Get ready to dive into a world where we offer you the latest in real estate wisdom and the juiciest community tidbits. From expert advice courtesy of top realtors to opportunities to give back through local charities, we've got you covered. Plus, we'll shine a spotlight on the young athletes driving our local sports scene and uncover the buzzworthy happenings both in town and beyond. Stay tuned for a jam-packed hour of enlightenment and entertainment right here on Keepin' It Real.
What's in a name? Everything. Long Realty has been a cornerstone of Southern Arizona's real estate market for nearly 100 years. Our name is our bond, and our agents are our strength. Trust in the name that stands for experience and expertise. Visit longrealty.com or call 520-459-4993 to connect with an agent today. Long Realty. Smart move.
All right, everybody. Good morning. Good Saturday morning to you in Cochise County. You're tuned in to Keepin' It Real. The Keepin' It Real radio show is brought to you by the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty Studios right here in Sierra Vista, just behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard. You hear us say that all the time, but it's true. We're right here. We're here for all your real estate needs. If you need anything, come on down. And if you're a new potential buyer, I really want to encourage you. Come on down. We've got people here. Prosperity Mortgage is right here. We've got other folks in town too who can help you out. Great mortgage lenders. It's never too early to start looking into that and kind of planning your future out. You know, real estate is one of the quickest ways to wealth, and it's an opportunity to get out of that rent and get into something that is your own. So I hope you'll do that and come on down, talk to Sherry or I or any one of the team members here with the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty, and we would be happy to help you. Now, whether you're a brand new listener joining us this weekend, and if you are, we thank you for that, or one of our longtime friends who never misses a show. I have people coming all the time and telling me that they've listened to the show all the time, and we thank you for being there for us, and we love spending Saturday mornings with you, keeping it real about real estate, community, and everything that's going on, you know, right here at home in our little town and our little community, and we love that. And speaking of what's going on, it's a big weekend right here in Sierra Vista today. If you're up early, you can head over right now to Veterans Memorial Park for the 53rd Annual Art in the Park. It starts here at 8 o'clock. It's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great day. We had the Huachuca Art Association on the show last week, if you remember, and really a fun conversation talking about event organizing and all those wonderful things. So shout out to them and this amazing event. They're going to have more than 100 vendors. I think around 145 vendors. So there's going to be lots of food, crafts, and fun. Remember, everything there is handmade. But that doesn't mean it's not good quality. There's some really excellent work there. And it doesn't matter what your taste is, whether it's pottery or metal art or some kind of wood, whether it be wood furniture or wood boxes or wood keepsakes. There's just tons of stuff out there. And there's painters and all kinds of other people there, people with some gourmet foods and all kinds of neat things. So come on down and take a look at that today at Art in the Park. And it runs all day today until 5 p.m. But if you can't make it today, don't worry. It runs again tomorrow on Sunday. So please come down to Art in the Park. It's one of the most attended events of the entire year. So be sure to check it out. And then next week, man, it's a great day again. It's going to be cars, and more cars. Our friend Larry York and the crew are gearing up for Cars in the Park. So shout out to Larry and friends. This is another mega event that you just don't want to miss. So shine up your ride, take it down and show it off, enter it in the event, or and maybe even win a prize or something there. There's going to be all kinds of prizes and lots of different categories this year. Or just come out and enjoy the massive variety of vehicles, as we've said many, many times on this show. It's a very unique community. A lot of car folks, guys and gals out here in this town that you drive down the road and you'll be surprised to see a vehicle that maybe you've never seen before. And so I always love that. A lot of cool old cars. So dust those things off, get those shined up, and get them down to the car show. And even if you just drive it down there and you you don't enter. We'd love to see you down there. There'll be vendors, there'll be music. Like I said, there's going to be all kinds of prizes. Cars line up at 7 a.m. and the fun rolls all the way until 3 p.m. And somewhere in between there's going to be some great prizes given out. Like I said, come down to Cars in the Park right there at Veterans Memorial Park. And it's all going down next weekend. So next Saturday is just as good as this Saturday. It's going to be awesome. Also next Saturday, and I want to highlight something very kind of near and dear to us, a service opportunity that's simple but makes a huge impact. Project Linus, our Lions Club friends over there, are hosting Make It Blanket Morning again. You've heard them on the show before if you listen to us pretty regularly. And this is all going down at the Salvation Army at 180 East Wilcox Drive from 9 to 11. And you can come by for any part of that or stay the whole time and help tie together some quick no-sew blankets. And these blankets are super easy to make. Just a little bit of knot tying. They can show you how to do it. These blankets are donated to children in hospitals, foster care, in bad situations, kids facing tough times, whether it be medical or something else. It's always great. It's a small gesture that means so much. And it's something you can do with your kids to teach them about giving back. So bring down your children. We'd love to see everybody down there. Everybody's welcome. So come on down to Make a Blanket Morning with the Lions Club right there, teamed up with the Salvation Army at 180 East Wilcox from 9 to 11. So whether it's Art in the Park today, Cars in the Park next week, or giving a little time back at Make a Blanket Morning next week, there's no shortage of ways to connect with our community. Folks, this is Keeping It Real. We'll be right back after these brief messages.
In a town with heart and history, the Sherry Ethell Team is the key. Serving service that we agree for military law and retirees. Stress-free process you will see. Personal care is our guarantee. Real integrity, real results. The Sherry Ethell Team, we never halt. Real experts here to guide your way, making dreams come true every single day. Trust a team that knows just what to do. The Sherry Ethell Team, working for you. Real integrity, real results. The Sherry Ethell Team is your one and only call.
All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Keepin' It Real. I'm Dion Ethell, and I'll be your host today. I'm part of the Sherry Ethell Team right here at Long Realty Studios behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard, and we are here in the studio today. We've already got some guests joining us. Got Joyce Keck. What's your position there, Joyce?
I'm a lead advocate, but I also do peer support, and I'm also a life coach.
So you probably heard her, if you listen to our show frequently, you might have heard her in a previous show. She's with Lori's Place, and appreciate you. Welcome to the show. And then I have my co-host today, Lisa Gustafson from Cool FM and Canyon Country, and so I'm appreciative of you to join us again.
Well, yeah, you said anytime I want to come back, so I keep coming.
Absolutely. And we have a special guest, Noah Stone. So, Noah, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Okay, great. So we're going to talk a little bit about it's kind of an uncomfortable conversation. Every time we have Lori's Place in it, I always wonder because, it's the kind of conversation that you have that's necessary, but sometimes it's some touchy stuff. It's some kinds of things that most people, steer away from, because Lori's Place, of course, is, I guess it's an advocacy center. Is that what it could be summarized as? What do you think?
We are an advocacy center, but it's beyond that as well.
Yeah.
So we do the advocacy portion, but then we also have mental health. We have
forensics of some kind.
We have the exams for domestic violence and sexual assault victims. Occasionally we have groups there. We partner with some of our other providers here in Cochise County. So
yeah, and you guys have that symbiotic relationship with the law enforcement folks here in town. We've had the chief on here before and some others, but it all kind of centers around people who've been exposed, victims who've been exposed to either sexual violence or physical violence, could be domestic violence, could be elder abuse, could be just a pretty broad gambit. I think from 18 years old to maybe even an elderly person, a big group.
Yeah, there's no age gaps. The clients that I see, my youngest is 11 and I have someone that's 64. So there's just age anywhere in between.
Wow. And full disclosure, Noah here, he's the brave one here in the room because Noah is actually a victim. And we've never done that before. We've had you guys on the show many times and talking about from the forensic specialists to the peer support team members to other pieces and elements of Lori's Place. But we've never really talked to anybody who's personally been touched by this kind of stuff. And so this one's going to be a little bit different. Bear with us here.
Can you tell we're all like this today?
I'm nervous.
I'm nervous too, but you know what? Here's the thing. It's so crazy. We were talking about this before the show, and this is what we need. We need these people to come forward and tell us their story and their interaction with Lori's Place. People don't know all that they offer and just how amazing their services are. So I'm excited. And I thank you, Noah, for coming and chatting with us.
Noah's, I think, the only one who isn't nervous.
I know.
Exactly.
The rest of us are just like, this is so crazy.
So, yeah, and we even had that conversation beforehand. What kinds of things are off limits and what kinds of things should I steer away from? And Noah's like, hey, I'm kind of an open book here. I'll tell you if there's something that's I'm uncomfortable with, but I'm here to help other people. And so that's pretty special.
Absolutely. And I think the main purpose to take away from this all is the fact that he can sit here and be so calm, cool, and confident in who he is as an individual.
Yeah.
That stems directly from his interaction with Lori's Place.
Absolutely. So first, one of the things we do is we always get to know everybody. Although we just had you on not too long ago, before we introduce Noah and his background and everything, we could start with you, Joyce. Tell us just a little bit about what you do for Lori's Place again, and how'd you get here? How'd this all come about?
So last week I hit 5 years with Lori's Place.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. There was an ad posted, and for an advocate, no schooling, nothing. I sent an email, let them know about my life, my past, and I went in for an interview and I was hired that day. Since then, I've gone to school. Like I said, now I'm a life coach. But main responsibilities at Lori's Place really are the advocacy portion, just to make sure that people know that someone is there for them, because I know what it feels like not to have someone. So just making sure I'm open, I'm honest, I'm available when someone needs someone. We're crisis line, we're 24 hours a day. So anytime someone feels like they need someone, we are there for them. And that comes from domestic violence to having a bad night to, it's endless.
Right. Well, and I think, everybody spoke very highly of you. Obviously, that special person who is able to connect with other people, maybe more valuable than all the education and the schooling, now that you've had an opportunity to go to do some of that training. But that itself, that you're approachable, is probably really key to the starting of the healing process, right?
Right. It's the lived experiences that you've healed from. And I can tell people when they say, gosh, you don't know what I've been through. No, I know what you've been through, and it's going to be okay.
So let's flip over to Noah. Noah, tell me a little bit about yourself. Aside from this thing that we're going to talk about, did you grow up here? Tell me about this.
So I wouldn't say I grew up here. I was born originally in upstate New York, the Rochester area. I liked it for a little while, then moved out here and went through all of middle school and high school out here, I would say.
Okay. How old were you when you guys moved here?
I was 12.
12. Okay, 12 years old. And then what brought you guys to here? Was it your dad's work? Or?
No, my grandparents had retired out here.
Okay.
This is just where they had chosen to retire, and so we moved out here to be close to them, and then that was it. That was really the easiest decision we had ever made. I think we had spent a year in Florida, and Florida was just too humid, too expensive, so
This must have been a big change from New York. I mean, you were still young, 12 years old, but...
Oh, no, it was a big change.
Was that a pretty big shock?
Yeah, no, there was no snow, no big old forest. Like, every park you went to, there was a big old forest to get lost in while your parents played flag football or something, you know? That was not there anymore. My mom, she still lived in New York. My dad lived in Arizona, so I very much was happy living with my dad and not being in the snow.
Probably disconnected from some friends back home, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was, but I was very lucky and fortunate to make really, really good friends from the beginning out here. Like, and my good friends in New York, I'm still lucky enough to talk to them. So, in a weird way, I really didn't lose too much. I just gained a whole new world.
I mean, today is going to be amazing. If you just are joining in, do not turn that dial because you're going to want to hear this story. I think it's pretty impressive.
We're going to do just that. We're going to take a quick break here, and then we're going to get dialed into kind of what the conversation's all about. And then we're going to get into a deep dive and hopefully come out in one piece. All right, we'll be right back. Welcome to an exciting new chapter in real estate marketing with the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty. We're thrilled to introduce our groundbreaking radio campaign that's set to virtually transform how homes are sold in our community.
Are you looking to sell your home? Imagine your listing highlighted as not just a home of the week, but receiving continuous, exclusive attention on the airwaves until it sells. That's right. Every single Sherry Ethell Team Long Realty listing will now be featured regularly, ensuring maximum exposure to maximize your speed of sale.
Here's how it works. Each week, we'll spotlight all of our current listings in individual, engaging, and detailed 30-second radio ads. Whether you're selling a cozy starter home, a luxurious estate, or anything in between, your property will be heard by thousands of potential buyers in our local area. This innovative approach guarantees that your home remains top of mind for listeners until the perfect buyer comes along.
Why choose the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty? Because we're committed to delivering unparalleled service with a personal touch. Our new radio campaign will be just one more way we help reduce the stress of selling your home by giving it the visibility it deserves. We understand that selling a home can be a daunting process, but with your tailored marketing campaign and this kind of presence, it'll be easier and more efficient than ever.
Tune in to Canyon Country 97.7 to hear about the latest listings on our new program we're calling our Home Spotlight Series. Or catch the Keepin' It Real radio show every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. for the latest on real estate tips from the experts, weekend open houses, awesome charity opportunities, great happenings in our community, and wonderful interviews with youth sports coaches and athletes.
So don't miss out on this unique opportunity to have your home featured in our exclusive radio campaign. List with Sherry Ethell Team Long Realty today and experience the magic of real estate marketing like never before.
For more information, give us a call at 717-599-2439. Sherry Ethell Team Long Realty, behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard right here in Sierra Vista, where your home story is told until it's sold. Remember, with us, it's not just about selling houses. We make success stories for a living. Stay tuned, stay informed, and let us help you find your perfect home. All right, welcome back to Keepin' It Real. Welcome back to Keepin' It Real, brought to you by the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty Studios. I'm here joined with my co-host, Lisa Gustafson, if you're just tuning in. So thank you, Lisa.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
And, of course, we've got two other special guests. Joyce Keck, she is from Lori's Place. She does the peer support, right? And then she's a life coach. And so she's doing a bunch of different things there. We're going to hear from her and her role and how this connection has built between her and Noah. And so Noah Stone, he's actually coming to us to kind of talk us through not just what it's like to be a victim, but how to be a survivor and how to get some advice from somebody who's been there and can kind of steer you into what kinds of things to look for. So Noah, let's start there. Tell us a little bit about what happened, or maybe you can start off, Lisa, too, and jump in.
I think we should preface it by letting people know that the gentleman's name was Leo Guillen, I believe, who is currently serving 27 years.
Yeah, 27.
27 years for numerous accounts. This has been a big story, but child molestation and, Noah can fill you in on the rest. But we wanted to kind of start with that so you had an idea of where Noah comes into play and to talk to us, and then we'll kind of jump in at that point, because this is something that so many people, unfortunately, at some point it could affect any one of us. And it is never okay, ever. And we need to make sure that our community, our children, the parents, everybody knows and is aware there are places to get help.
Actually, no, I think you had kind of referred to this guy, a serial child predator, because it wasn't just you, it was actually multiple victims, right?
Yeah, to my understanding it was. I'm not too familiar on everyone involved, but it was to my understanding that I wasn't the first one, and I don't know if I was necessarily the last one either.
Yeah. This started around really close to the time that you got here, right?
Yeah, I got here, and within the first month we had gotten out here, or maybe a first few months, I'd say, we went to this wrestling show in town at the Buena Gym, and my dad was fortunate enough to have figured out the guy who put the event together and brought me to his shop. It was a tire shop that he was working at, that he owned, and he brought me by to say thank you to him. And so we said thank you, and he said, "Hey, I know you're a single dad, so if you ever need a night off from the kid, just let me know. I'll watch him for you."
And wrestling was a cool thing for you. You're still involved in the wrestling game, right?
Still very much so involved in wrestling. I'm still a ring announcer for wrestling.
Okay, so you're you're an announcer now, and so this is a passion for. Right. Yeah, you love it, and
so
and
it all made sense. And he loved wrestling too. He would buy the wrestling pay-per-views and say, "Hey, he can come over and watch the pay-per-views. You don't gotta." He'd tell my dad, "You don't gotta pay $60 to watch this pay-per-view for your kid. I'll buy the pay-per-view and your kid can watch it here, and you can have a night off." So he was very good at being a manipulator, I would say.
So here's a guy who's seems like on the outside a trustworthy person, business owner, somebody who's an event coordinator. He's got all the right answers. He seems friendly enough. Yep. Seems like a great guy, and has invited you, to come over. And how long before
you initially met?
You initially met, yeah. Before something happened.
Yeah, the exact timeline on that, I don't really have the best memory of, because unfortunately, the very first time I went over to his house, it was obvious that he was like, "Oh, I was almost 13. I don't know if I was quite 13 yet. I think I was still 12. Okay. But he was very like, "Oh, you want to drink, So kids your age want to drink." Yes. So I remember distinctively it was Sailor Jerry, and he would say, "Here's some Sailor Jerry. I know you said that you saw some people drinking that. Here's some Sailor Jerry." And then he would say, "But you're going to take 2 shots to my every 1 shot." And so I did. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of memory of what happened back then, because that was his MO, was to get you drunk enough to not be able to say distinctively what had happened to you.
Okay.
And that continued until I was about 15. When I was about 15, I didn't want to drink anymore. I didn't really want to do all that stuff, so I would pretend to drink. And that's when I realized what exactly was going on.
And you were a little bit older, too.
Yes.
So now, going back, when this first all started, people out there listening and thinking of their own children and thinking, gosh, this could happen to anybody. And I think even with Lori's Place, you guys threw out some of the stats, and it's kind of staggering how many people might be involved in things like this as a victim. But everything seemed on the up and up until it started. And then how often were you hanging out with this guy? Was he bringing you over? And at what point were you just scared to say anything?
From the beginning, I was scared to say anything. The very first night ever that I stayed with him, before he ever even did anything to me, before I knew anything about what was going to happen, he showed me very distinctively. I remember there was this revolver handgun that he had, and he said he kept it right on the head of your bed, where the little cubby in it, and he said that he slept with that gun, not for anything other than to protect people. And up to that point, I had no reason to be scared of a gun. But by the time I'd figured out what was going on, all I could think about is, okay, well, now there's a gun involved. And as long as there's a gun involved, I'm not faster than a bullet last time I checked.
Yeah, so you kind of felt like you couldn't say anything, or he might use this on you.
Yeah.
So, and obviously he said it for a reason,
And like I said, do I think it happened when I was even younger at 12? 100%. But was I absolutely blackout drunk and cannot say for certain that it did.
Yeah.
Yes, and that unfortunately even came back even when they were charging him for about 12 to 14. They could not charge him with child molestation for me because I could not remember or guarantee that happened. We know it did. We're sure it did. We all are. But legally, they had to charge him with delinquency to a minor, contributing to delinquency to a minor.
Because of the drunkenness and also getting you drunk. Yeah.
So even though they couldn't get him for that, they still went and got him for any little thing they could for that crime against me back then.
Now, did your dad know anything about any of this at this point?
My dad and we have a great relationship, and he was doing really well. He was really happy, and it wasn't like I thought I would ruin any of the happiness.
And he was a single dad at that time,
No, he
right?
he had just met my stepmom.
Okay.
At the time, and they were like getting married and all this stuff.
Okay.
And
a lot going on.
Yeah, and it was a really happy situation. And as they got married, it was like my sophomore, junior year of high school, they got married. So I was 15, 16 years old at that point. I had realized what was happening, and my stepmom, she was a saint. She loved keeping the family together. There weren't as many more weekends with Leo at that point because we kind of had that family dynamic again.
Yeah.
And so
that's kind of a lesson learned too, right?
Yeah.
That family dynamic, having
your family and just being around them, it means the world to. It should mean the world to people. You don't know how long you got them for. My stepmom passed away, so
I'm sorry.
We don't know how long we got them for. I mean, it was. I think we had her for 10 years, but they were probably the best 10 years that we ever had.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
What a tribute
Incredible.
to her. It just goes to show the level that these predators, the manipulation, they know what they are doing in a very methodical way.
Right.
And here is, a 12-year-old who just moved here, whose family needs help. There's just so many layers.
Yeah, think of all those indicators, right? All those things that they're looking for.
That.
So from the other perspective here, Joyce, coming from your side, when did you meet him? How old was he?
Gosh, I met you in
the end of 22, the end of 21, beginning 22. So
yeah, January of 2022.
Okay, there we go.
When we looked it up, it was January of 2022.
Okay.
And that was a referral from the police department.
Okay.
It came as a referral, and I will never forget when Noah came to the center and the fear in his face because he had no idea what we did there.
I think he had mentioned, tell him, Noah, what you thought was going to happen.
I had thought for sure I was just going to get, no offense here, I just thought I was going to get locked up in where they put you in the padded rooms.
Oh, yeah, you thought you were going to be...
I thought I was getting a cozy little stay at my visit. She was like, just come over.
Right?
Almost like inviting me into the witch's cottage at first is what I had thought, but then as soon as I sat in there and met Joyce, it was she was like, hey, just breathe. Everyone but me is sick. I am going to work with you. I am going to help you. We are going to find you what you need, and we're going to give you the support. And from that moment on, that's literally what they did. Within a week, I had gotten a call back from Joyce, and I was seeing someone within a week of being there. As soon as people were back in the center, I became the priority. I can't thank Joyce enough for that. Thanks, Joyce.
I love that. Can I ask a quick question? I'm going to jump in here. Joyce, who you met the very first time, you said how fearful he was and scared he didn't know, to who he is today, how does that feel to you?
Fulfilling. It makes me very humble because we've been together since you reported this.
Yeah.
So through the trial, through...
Oh, wow, yeah.
The move.
Tough times.
Yeah, I mean, from the highest to the lowest moments during this entire trial. And the one thing I will never forget is when it was time for prosecution and Noah said, well, this case is almost done, so I guess this is our goodbye. And it's like, no. Just because this is over doesn't mean that we're done.
Yeah.
So, that is a core memory for me, thinking that because the trial is over, we're done as well.
Yeah.
That's because y'all didn't charge me a penny for anything. You guys don't charge, and I was like, oh, there's no way.
That's a big thing. Yeah, we've talked about that on the show many times. As a nonprofit, you guys do a lot of fundraising and of course accept donations, and that's how you got to keep the doors open.
This is why
it is not cheap. Ooh. This is not cheap. I was surprised that overhead to be able to operate that kind of a facility and to have the amazing equipment that you guys have and the forensic materials and everything, and then to have I can't remember, what do you guys call that little room that you've got all the cool stuff they can go pick stuff out of?
The Brave Room.
The Brave Room.
Yes.
Yes. And so just, all those kinds of things. It's a lot. Pretty cool place. We're going to come back to this. We got some more questions for you, Noah, and I really appreciate you opening up to us and telling us a little bit about this. Folks, we'll be right back. Hang close to your radio.
We're the real wayfinders, the trailblazers, the go-getters. In a town where the desert wakes before dawn, we don't just talk, we make things happen. And when we speak, it's real, it's genuine, and it's worth hearing. Tune in every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. on Canyon Country 97.7 FM. Join the Sherry Ethell Team for Keepin' It Real, where top realtors, local heroes, and the heartbeat of our community come together. Raw, authentic conversations, expert market insights, and the best local events you can't afford to miss. Keeping it real, celebrating our community. Bold, genuine, one of a kind.
In a town with heart and history, the Sherry Ethell Team is the key. Serving service that we agree. For military law and retirees. Stress-free process you will see. Personal care is our guarantee. Real integrity, real results. The Sherry Ethell Team, we never halt. Real experts here to guide your way. Making dreams come true every single day. Trusted team that knows just what to do. The Sherry Ethell Team, working for you. Real integrity, real results. The Sherry Ethell Team is your one and only call.
All right, welcome back to Keepin' It Real, brought to you by the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty Studios. I'm Dion Ethell. I'm your host. I'm here co-host with Lisa Gustafson from Cool FM and our Canyon Country brothers and sisters over there.
Hello there.
So thank you for doing that. And, of course, we're with Joyce Keck. She's from the Lori's Place. She's a life coach. She's also a peer support member. She's all kinds of things over there. But she has a very, very special relationship with our young man here. So Noah Stone is, I guess, a guy who's super into wrestling, and you do some, is it announcing?
Yeah, give a shout out to him. Can we allow him that? Let's let him give a shout out.
So I work for Thunder Mountain Wrestling right here in Cochise County. Actually, we try to put on our shows all throughout the county, and that's why I think it's so important that I come out here and I do talk about this, because if you go to our shows, lucky enough on a Saturday night, I know this is Saturday morning, so you guys got me right now, but Saturday nights are normally for wrestling. So, exactly. But I'm very excited that if you see me out there, you wouldn't know something like that happened to me, and that's because I've worked so hard on myself and my progress. And a lot of that did have to do with Lori's Place. So that's why I think it's important to let you know that, even a guy who you might see out there and you might think, oh, look at this, this larger than life guy. It happened to me too. I am just as much, it was just as much able to happen to me, and it did. No one, I don't want to say no one is safe, because that sounds terrible. Right. But in a way, no one is safe from the unknown of that it can happen to your family. It can happen to you. It actually can happen to anyone. I pray it doesn't. Right. But it really can, and it's important to know that men too, we go through this, and we need someone to say, hey, we do go through this, and it's okay to talk about it. Yeah, that's a great point. That's super good, because I know a lot of folks, listening, and we've talked about different aspects of whether it be domestic violence or whether it be some kind of sexual abuse or something. A lot of times women are involved, and from a guy's perspective, I mean, tough guys, wrestlers, that kind of stuff. Right. We don't talk about that kind of thing, and so I really appreciate you coming forward and saying, hey, it's okay. Sometimes this stuff happens to us. You are a young guy, though, very young and impressionable, and somebody took advantage of that. A terrible thing, happened to you. But now, as an advocate, what kinds of advice would you give to a parent that's listening here? What kinds of things should they be looking for? Do you have any thoughts on that? I would say that I thought I did a very good job at hiding it from my parents and hiding it from my family, because I didn't want to cause a scene. I didn't want to be the reason everything was wrong in the house. I would say the most important thing a family can do is just like what my stepmom did. Thanks, JD. She made sure the family stayed together. She did the family events. Christmas, we were always planning stuff. Even the night before Christmas, we would watch The Grinch, we would watch The Elf, and it was really that family element of just not even checking on your kids, letting your kids know you care and you want them there. They might not appreciate it then. I know I didn't when I was a teenager, and I regret it, of course.
I don't know many teenagers that do.
I will tell you this. It really did, looking back, it did help. Just knowing that my family was genuinely there for me is what really made the difference. So now that would be my advice.
At what point did they finally learn about this?
In 2021, May 2021, when I finally went and reported it.
So you reported it?
Yeah, I reported it after I saw he had been arrested in the news for something related to that. And they had said in the article that they wanted people to come forward because they believed there were victims.
Oh, wow.
And so I immediately went down there, told my story, and luckily at the time, the detective, he was very, very receptive. He listened to me, he helped me, and he went and charged him with 29 different counts for everything that he did to me.
How shocked was your parents, with this whole thing?
My dad was originally really mad. I think for maybe half a minute, the initial response is, "You should have told me. I would have killed him. I can't believe you didn't tell me."
But as most parents would say,
and he
sure.
didn't. But it wasn't and it definitely was. I don't want to paint it as victim blaming. He was not at all blaming me or saying it was my fault. Yeah. He was just understandably frustrated that I didn't feel I could go to him and talk to him. He wasn't mad at me for not telling him.
Yeah.
He was upset that I didn't feel I could trust him with it.
Yeah, as a parent, sure.
He really did go out of his way to always put me first, always pick me, always take care of me, always support me. It's just when you're a teenager, sometimes you don't see that. So my advice to teens going through this right now, more than anything, is let your parents be there, man, because one day they're not. Yeah. One day they won't be, and you're going to wish they were. You're going to really wish they were.
So that's great advice.
And there, going off of what he was saying earlier, there very well could be individuals out there who were affected by this gentleman.
This guy,
because it went back so far that could still be in need of help today.
Yeah.
Right.
And Lori's Place would be a great start to that, right?
Right. So, and I wanted to add that in there is that, although Noah's trauma happened when he was younger, just because you're not under 18 or it's not recent, we're still here for you because we also have the trauma that we've healed from, that we've been able to process. And regardless of how long ago it was, we are here for you because sometimes you just have to have someone to talk to. And one thing that I want to add when it comes to kids not being able to go to their parents, it's tough because you could have the closest relationship and you want to keep that family dynamic together.
Yeah.
And you don't want to take away, you don't want your family to be broken because of it. But one thing that I want to tell parents is when your kids come to you, do not self-blame. Because it's tough. Don't feel like it's your fault that you didn't see that it happened, that your kids didn't come to you. A lot of times the perpetrators, they threaten the kids.
You're right.
They tell them, if you say something to your parents or, and the first thing as a kid is you want to protect your family and your parents.
100%.
So, just if there's, if you can't go to your parents, find someone safe. There's so many counselors. There's just so many people that you can trust. But always go to your parents if you have that relationship and feel safe with them.
Yeah. Well, and I want to kind of go back to something you touched on a little bit there, Noah. So one of the things you had mentioned, so obviously there was the kind of the veiled threat with the gun thing, but when you showed up at Lori's Place, you were kind of like, hey, am I going to get sent off to the asylum here? Was there some things going through your mind too that you were to blame for this?
Yeah, I mean, not really going through my mind, more like put into my mind, because while the investigation was very fresh, there were a lot of people who were immediately like, "Oh, this is ridiculous. This didn't happen. You don't." Yeah, no, I had one couple who had apparently heard about how long it had gone on for and said, "Well, if it happened for that long, you obviously obviously wanted it to some degree.
Oh
and
my
it's
gosh,
like,
that's terrible.
That's a common statement.
Is it really?
Yes, it is. It's a very common statement.
Why?
How?
Why?
I don't know.
I am
I'm
I am too.
shocked.
I just cannot even imagine how that is acceptable in
And
our
to
society.
a young person who already has gone through that kind of trauma that somebody else forced on them, and now that's how you're going to respond to this person?
Yes, it's a very common statement that you hear. I mean, obviously, not always from family members.
Yeah, this could be somebody else, even on the street.
It could just be a stranger on the street that has no idea what the true story is, and it's just an assumption that they've made. So go ahead, Noah.
For instance, that couple, I had seen them before when I knew him as a kid, and they had seen me with him before in like Chili's. Because, like, for my birthday, he'd take me out to Chili's. If I wanted stuff, he'd buy it for me too while that was happening. It was until I realized what was going on, it was almost like I was too dumb to realize he was basically buying me.
Yeah. No, I totally understand how these guys work. It's terrible. And somebody who's maybe not got all the pieces of the puzzle there doesn't understand. But it's still hard to believe. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're talking to this young person, so it just shocks me that people would feel that way. But
I'd say that's what led to me going to Lori's place, was just kind of all this stuff. I wanted to drop the charges. I didn't care anymore.
Did you?
I was like,
why?
I figured like, if he's such a monster and you guys already got him on like whatever you got him on, and we're asking for more people to come forward, you clearly got him on enough. I don't need to relive this. I can take this to my grave. It's fine. And luckily the detective, he was very stubborn. He was very, very stubborn. I give him all the credit in the world. And he said, no.
Yeah.
Just go to Lori's place first. Just go to Lori's place first.
He even called to make sure that...
That's where the referral came from.
Yep. Yeah, he called and he said he's on his way now.
And then 5 minutes later I called.
Because it's right down the street, and Noah called just to make sure. And the best part is when he walked in, I set him in a chair almost like this.
Yeah.
Because I was the only one there. I had to answer the phones. I had to and this was right.
Oh, that's difficult.
This was
like,
within COVID. Yeah, this was back in
awkward times.
22.
Yeah, like the beginning of 22. So we're still trying to process how the COVID worked.
Tail end of it. Yeah.
So here I am, and he is just silently sitting there in his chair, watching me go back and forth. And I'm like, I'll be right with you. Just hang on. I'm sure there was a thought like, is she calling the crisis team right now? You don't know.
This poor kid is like,
meanwhile, you're building it up in your head.
Right.
Oh
I already thought I was going to be taken away. Now they're just confirming I'm here.
Right.
Now they let her know we got him sent.
He is here. Let's come and get him.
Unit,
right. That's how you start thinking.
Felt like I had some warrant or something.
Yeah.
Never had
crazy.
one, but felt like I did.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that makes sense now, even probably building all that anxiety and stuff.
I can't even imagine. I wish I
would have run out the door.
Right, and I wish I would have known then what I do now, because now I look back. I mean, obviously, we joke about it now, but I look back and I'm like, gosh, imagine what I put him through, because I was trying to wrap stuff around and process things my own way.
It was difficult times, though, and you were kind of new in your career, too.
I was. It was
right?
September of 2020, and this was January of 21, so...
Yeah.
22.
22.
Yeah.
But still, pretty new into the whole thing, and you're trying to juggle all these things.
All of it, and it was just the whole situation. But I mean, we've been through this years now, so I think we both learned from each other.
Yeah, taught each other.
I would definitely say as we have grown, peer support has been more of a we're both helping each other now.
Yes.
And that's kind of the beauty of it. That's what I love about this place, is I've really grown a lot, and I seen it because they challenged me. I would say that both Joyce and Michaela, her partner, especially Michaela, shout out Michaela.
Yeah.
She's so good about calling me on my stuff. Like when I get into a funk, or when I get negative, or I get down on myself, or I say I can't do something, she'll be like, well, I've noticed this pattern from you, and I know you can, so I'm just asking you, why aren't you doing it for yourself?
That's good.
Wow.
Well, Michaela just graduated her LMSW, MSW, and she asked those hard questions, but she's in Georgia. So, Noah and I are person to person, so you got to gauge that mood with these hard questions, and Michaela will say it how it is. It is hilarious.
I know,
but that accountability probably helps you, right?
Yes, and that's what I need. So I don't think she does that for for everyone, but for me, that's what she does because she knows that's what I need. I need someone to say to my face, hey, you could be doing better for yourself.
It's not sugar-coated.
Yeah.
So now go do better for yourself. And then I come back the next week and I've got a better mindset. I've grown in some way, shape, or form, and it has helped me immensely. I've gone from being angry to being forgiving. By the time victim impact statements came, I was forgiving Leo for what he had done, and I was sorry that his life was so miserable.
That he had to do that. Wow. Well, let's hold that. And we'll come right back. One more break, and then we're going to conclude the show and kind of wrap up with Noah here and, of course, with Joyce, and talk a little bit about, what's the next step. And then talk to, just shout out to those people who might be listening today and maybe they're going through something very similar and how to get them help. We'll be right back after these messages. Keeping it real.
Discover excellence in real estate with the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty, your premier choice in Cochise County. Sherry's amazing team brings honesty, expertise, and a deep understanding of the local market. Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned homeowner, they're committed to your peace of mind and handle every detail for you. Their approach? Personalized service, above and beyond transactional real estate, building lifelong relationships, nationwide connections, local expertise. There's a reason this team is amongst the top realtors in Arizona and across the nation. You owe it to yourself to call or visit the Sherry Ethell Team, the top team at Long Realty, behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard in Sierra Vista. Call or text 717-599-2439 or Google us for more info. Real integrity, real results.
Do uneasy markets have you waiting for the ideal moment to make home ownership a reality? Your answer lies in a conversation with Sherry Ethell and her exceptional team at Long Realty, a name synonymous with trust and reliability in Arizona's real estate landscape.
Hi, I'm Sherry Ethell, Realtor and Team CEO of the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty. Your ideal moment has arrived. We tailor our approach to you and your needs and goals. Let us put our extensive network to work for you and take the stress out of the process.
Whether buying or selling, remember the name Sherry Ethell and the Sherry Ethell Team. Visit the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard in Sierra Vista. Call or text 717-599-2439 or Google us for more information. Real integrity, real results.
And welcome back to Keeping It Real. I'm Dion Ethell. I'm your host. I'm here with Joyce, Noah, and Lisa, and we've been sitting here chit-chatting. I know we're just about done, and we're just kind of wrapping up our show, but I kind of want to just a couple of things here. We've talked about, of course, your situation and all the great stuff from you, honestly, Noah, about how other people can be affected with this and how, they can maybe prevent some of this stuff about talking to their parents and things like this. But all great stuff. Any other thoughts in terms of looking back on your journey here to getting better? And we know that it's an ongoing thing, I guess, right, Joyce? It's a thing that maybe doesn't go away completely, but you get better.
Right. And the thing about having the combination of peer support and also life coaching is there really is no exact graduation date. Yeah. I mean, unless you're not doing any progress or wanting to help yourself, sometimes we do have to let go. Yeah. But when it's clients like Noah who grow and continue growing, there is no end date for that.
It's kind of inspiring, honestly, Noah, that you have taken to it. A lot of people going through something as traumatizing as this would want to kind of crawl in their shell, and so it's amazing that you made, as much progress as you have in such a short amount of time.
I'm glad that you brought that up because I think it's important. He had mentioned earlier he did the work.
Yeah, that's true.
And so many of us think, okay, now if we show up and we just come and sit with you, we're going to be
magically healed. Yeah.
And that's not the case.
Yeah,
right?
That's a good point.
You have to put the work in yourself. And so I thank you for telling your story because what an incredibly impactful one it is. But for you to come out on the other end, before we took the break and you had mentioned that you were forgiving
It's so inspiring. I'm in awe how far you've come, and
completely inspiring.
And how open you are about it. That's what's so incredible too, that you're willing to kind of put yourself out there for other people to hear it, to listen, and to take note, and to examine their own situations a little closer, be a little more thoughtful and closely guarded on some things that maybe don't seem right, and just to really, I think, have a relationship with your kids, and the kids having a relationship with their parents
or their families,
or their family.
It does
anybody.
not matter. I had a grandmother who meant the world to me.
That's a good point.
So there were so many good family members that I had who I could talk to about anything. I would just say family overall is super important, and the only other thing I can say is it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to love yourself even after all of this has happened. And there is no time, like she said, there's no timeline on healing. Like Joyce said, there's no timeline on healing. You will move at your own pace, and that is okay. You just need to know that you're not alone. Man, woman, doesn't matter. It can happen to anyone.
And what do you do if you're taking, like, I'm sure you've had times where you felt like
what if you have,
pretty crappy. How
what
do you
have a bad day?
Yeah. What do you do? How do you deal with that?
You sit there and you remember that it's just that. It's a bad day. It sounds so cliche, but there are 365 days in the year. If one is bad, there are 364 that you can go still reclaim, that you can work. And even if you can't do it on your own, that's okay. There is no rule saying you have to do it on your own. Yes, you have to put in the work, but if you need help along the way, I know Lori's Place is there. For sure. They've been there for me every step of the way. Even when I feel like I'm going backwards, they can point out how I'm still making progress, so they can help me stop going backwards and start climbing back up. Life is peaks and valleys, right? Yeah. So they help you stay at the peak a lot more. They help you aim for that peak, stay a lot more grounded with yourself and feel better about yourself, as long as, like you guys said, you put in the work.
And healing is a journey. Like, it's not an overnight thing. I mean, you could go 4 steps forward and 7 back, but it's just, as long as you want to continue making that effort, and just because you're having a bad day doesn't mean that, I need to skip my appointment, I don't want to talk to you. No, like,
that's when you need to talk.
That is when you need it, and that is when we are here for you. You can come in a bad mood, and that's fine. Like, we're here to help you.
I've done that before. Yeah. I've done that. And they've called me out. They haven't called me out on it right then and there. They'll wait till the next week. They'll let me vent. They'll let me get it off my chest. They'll listen. They'll understand. They'll be there for you. Yeah. And then they'll still help you build from that, because they understand that anger isn't something you have to be ashamed of. It's a part of the healing process. Right. It really is.
And we don't want to take away from your feelings just because you're upset, you're angry, you're having a temporary moment. We don't want to take away from that. So sometimes we don't address it. We're not ignoring it. We want you to process it, so that way when we do talk to you about it, you understand where we're coming from. And there's been days where Noah's come in and he's like, it makes sense now, because we waited.
Well, you got to be proud, because Noah sounds like a life coach.
He sounds like he should be coming into Lori's Place.
He might be a future life coach.
So we call him our, there's a time that Lori had mentioned that this is going to be Noah's Place. Yeah. So we actually have...
I can see that.
We have a group chat, and it's called... Noah's Place,
Noah's
right?
Place, working title.
Yes. And so we actually utilize Noah for some of our younger male clients. Yeah. Because there is that experience, and it is a male perspective. Yeah. So we utilize him as an advocate at the center as well.
Well, he's amazing. And obviously that speaks volumes to you guys as well, and the care that you've been giving these people who come in your door, because he's speaking a lot of the language I remember from you on the last show. And so that's awesome that some of that has rubbed off. And obviously he's done a tremendous amount of work on his own part.
Absolutely.
So kudos to both of you, honestly.
It talks this so is how
much. It works.
Yeah, it talks so much about Lori's Place. And I don't know if people picked up on that earlier when Noah had mentioned at no cost.
Yes, the no cost thing.
This is why they are able to offer what they offer.
Yeah.
It is through, because when people do their charity fundraisers or when they offer those donations, this is what you've done. You are the ones that helped, build Noah to where he is.
And if I may say, I mean, the fact that it's free the entire time, and like Joyce was telling the funny story about the end of the trial, and I thought that was it. Like, what a testament to how much someone cares about you when they're doing all the work that someone else would charge you like $100 an hour to do. Yeah. I definitely don't ever have to feel like I'm paying for someone to care about me or someone's pretending to care. I know I matter, and I know I'm important at Lori's Place.
Aww.
Thank you.
My gosh.
I mean, the care is very genuine. And when we have someone like Noah that we see through the entire process, again, it is very humbling. But seeing someone at the end of the trial who had to do it on their own and is still able to move forward from that, we're here for that too. We're here at any time, at any phase of life.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much. I know we're out of time, but I want to just wrap the show up with a big thank you to Lori's Place. Big thank you, obviously, Noah, for coming in and being brave to step up and speak about your issue and to be able to kind of give people great inspiration and advice. Hopefully, if someone out there is listening today that's in a crisis situation, that you reach out to Lori's Place, reach out to your family, your friends, your other people who you can trust. And
remember,
get some help.
It's just a bad day. If you're having one of those moments too, I love that you said that, and I thank you.
That's incredible.
Especially we see too much of that. Don't let a bad day take it away. Get the help.
And that was self-reflection. I'll take that with me today because you're right. It is just a bad day, and it's a bad moment, and it's a temporary feeling.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Noah, for sharing your story.
Absolutely. Well, this has been...
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. And one last thing, a little plug for Lori's Place. So we've been talking about it a bunch. There are 501c3 businesses, personal parties, whoever. You can donate to these guys any day of the week. They will accept your donations. Please be sure to support them on all the different kinds of events that are coming up. The last thing is you have a chance to come tour Lori's Place, see where the work is really done, talk to the people who are there, and make your donation. And they're going to have some wonderful guest speakers there. Chief Heiser, the police department's going to be there. A lot of the folks, I guess Noah's going to be there. He's pointing here. So you can meet him firsthand and talk to him. But they got a wonderful place and a wonderful team. And this is a great opportunity to get the community behind the great work that's done at Lori's Place. So please come down and see that. And it'll be at Lori's Place on
October 10th.
October 10th.
But honestly, you can come and take a tour from Lori's Place
right?
anytime.
We've done it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if there's cars in the parking lot, feel free to, come on in, call the phone number if the door is locked.
Sure.
We are there if there is a car there.
Well, that's great to hear. All right, this has been Keepin' It Real. I'm Dion Ethell, and we'll see you on the next round. But we'll be right back after these brief messages. Thanks, Lisa. I appreciate you.
Thank you. You keep having amazing guests like this. I'll just
awesome.
keep coming back. Thanks, Dion.
All right. We'll be right back. It's the Home Spotlight Series, brought to you by the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty, where home stories are told until they're sold.
Located in the desirable Pueblo del Sol Country Club Estates, 3456 Rossburg Street is a beautifully updated 3-bedroom, 2-bath home with over 2,000 square feet of open living space. Enjoy high-vaulted ceilings, stylish finishes, and modern upgrades including kitchen, bathrooms, flooring, HVAC, water heater, and roof, all updated between 2018 and this year. Step out back to your huge covered patio, ready for personal touches and ideas. Take in breathtaking mountain views and birdwatching from the large backyard, or tinker in the big shed or workshop. There's an extended slab opposite the 2-car garage and driveway with a double gate and ready for RV parking. Plenty of space for your cars, toys, and hobbies. All just minutes from Fort Huachuca, shopping, golf, and schools. Professionally clean, this one checks every box and is move-in ready. 3456 Rossburg Street, listed at $395,000.
Buy and sell with the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty. We make success stories for a living.
Well, folks, that's a wrap on this week's Keepin' It Real radio show. As always, we're so grateful to have you spend part of your Saturday morning with us. Whether you're sipping coffee on the porch, out running errands, or out shopping for a home, we appreciate you. If something we said today sparked a question, or if you've got a great topic or guest idea for a future episode, we'd love to hear it. You can drop your suggestion in the Keepin' It Real suggestion box at the front desk of Long Realty, right behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard. Or just shoot me an email at sherry@sherryethelteam.com, or call or text me anytime at 717-599-2439. We love hearing from you. It helps us keep this show real, relevant, and rooted in our Cochise County community. We'll be back next Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. right here on 97.7 Canyon Country, your first choice for legendary country.
Until then, stay safe, stay kind, and as always, keep it real, Cochise County.
What's in a name? Everything. Long Realty has been a cornerstone of Southern Arizona's real estate market for nearly 100 years. Our name is our bond, and our agents are our strength. Trust in the name that stands for experience and expertise. Visit longrealty.com or call 520-459-4993 to connect with an agent today. Long Realty. Smart move.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of the Keepin' It Real radio show. Join us next Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. for more engaging interviews with top realtors and industry leaders, keeping you informed about the latest trends in real estate. Stay connected with us as we bring you updates on the dynamic events shaping our vibrant community. From exciting local happenings to noteworthy charities and causes, we've got you covered. See you next week for another edition of Keepin' It Real.